Well, people had their land seized in Zimbabwe who were born in Zimbabwe, and they were targeted on the basis of their race. And I wonder if you think that's good or bad.
No.
The president of Zimbabwe, Emerson Mnagangwa, defended the controversial policy by his predecessor, Robert Mugabe, of seizing land from white farmers and repatriating it to black Zimbabweans. The podcaster Tucker Carlson wanted to pin the president on the allegation that they had dispossessed white farmers who had been born in Zimbabwe and yet had a right to the land that was seized from them. Tucker Carlson wanted to undermine Zimbabweans' struggle for independence and how they lost their land to the colonialists.
Well, some of the land was seized from people who were born there. So I wonder if there's a lesson about targeting people on the basis of their skin color. Do you think?
Can I hear you?
Well, people had their land seized in Zimbabwe who were born in Zimbabwe, and they were targeted on the basis of their race. And I wonder if you think that's good or bad.
No. Land did not belong to a race. It
Right,
belonged to
that's right.
Zimbabweans. So when the colonialists took land from us, time came when we asserted ourselves, take back our land. And those who wanted to have land at the same basis as the African people of Zimbabwe remained. But those who felt they were superior left.
Okay.
While speaking at the World Governance Conference in Dubai, the podcaster Tucker Carlson had an idea of undermining the struggle for independence of black Zimbabweans. He could not understand how white farmers who had lived long enough to give birth to their offsprings, live and die on the land, had to lose their land to blacks who also had the same experience compared to the white farmers. However, the president of Zimbabwe reminded him that the black Zimbabweans were entitled to the land by the mere fact they were Zimbabweans. They did not have any superior right over the white farmers. He even insisted that white farmers who wanted to stay in Zimbabwe and not experience privilege rights were allowed to keep their land. He also reminded Tucker Carlson that the British colonialists, or rather the government of Britain, punished Zimbabwe with sanctions for taking over the land that belonged to them initially, saying that they should have compensated the land, the white farmers, before they forcibly took over the land from them. But this is double standard, considering that the circumstances of how the native Zimbabweans lost the land was through force, through displacement, through murder, through terror, and hence they did not gain anything when they lost their land initially to the settler colonialists. And so there's no arrangement where the white farmers should be treated with special privilege as opposed to the black Zimbabweans. Hence, we see that the policy was justifiable, considering that 80% of the land was in the hands of white settlers who denied the Africans a source of livelihood and a sense of belonging on their native land. That is all. Kindly like and subscribe this channel.